So as Mr. 80 said, I'm Brandy.
And I'm Ananya.
And we are Brananya. I stand in firm affirmation of the following resolution.
On balance, Ananya and Brandy did not have a life these past 4 years.
You want to know why? Well, Tuesday, 3:45 to 5 p.m.
Speech and debate after school. Read ballots and wonder why every debate is a close one. Revise, re-edit, and research for our case.
Thursday, 3:45 p.m. to 5 p.m.
The morale is up, and Miss Faust really thinks we can win this time.
Saturday, between the hours of 4 a.m. and 5:30 a.m.
Brananya strategizing hours on Google Docs.
7 a.m.
The much-awaited GroupMe message from the man, the legend. 7:30 a.m. sharp, or else I'm dropping you. Hugs, Tom Tafoya.
8 a.m.
Take a field trip around the school and laugh at the wall talkers. Yes, people really practice at the walls.
8:15 a.m.
Become a wall talker.
8:45 a.m.
Power pose and get ready to kick some butt.
This, every week, every Saturday, for 3 years. All for what? I couldn't tell you.
All we have is one first place trophy and a King Soopers bag full of participation ribbons. Sad?
We know, but it is what it is, truly, because as the most cliche saying goes, it's not the destination, it's the journey.
Well, the journey also wasn't the best for us, because as a girl, specifically of color, you learn some things about the world pretty quickly.
Rule number 1, know your place. When you speak, you are not taken at your word. Your answers, suggestions, and statements have less weight than those of others. You have to make sure your point is abundantly clear, or else it will go unnoticed or ignored. You do not speak unless you are 100% sure of what you're saying. Yet there will always be that one person who has the audacity to ask,
"Are you sure?"
But don't get mad or frustrated about it, because then you're overly emotional. This leads to
Rule number 2, and I apologize in advance for this one. Rule number 2, don't be a bitch. People expect you to be bold, well-learned, and strategic, but they also expect you to, well, not be a bitch. You don't get to have an attitude, and you don't get to say anything even remotely rude, because they'll always have a label for that. Assertive is only a compliment for the guys. For us, it's called being too aggressive. Exhibit A, our ballot from the Patriot Games tournament. Speaker 1 was a little too aggressive. Where's Speaker 1? But if you try to do the complete polar opposite and try to be a total sweetheart, that won't work either, because then you'll hear,
don't let them talk over you, sweetheart. Rule number 3, be your own cheerleader. When you lose repeatedly or aren't one of the popular speech and debate kids,
yes, they exist.
It takes courage and patience to constantly go back. No one is boosting your ego to make you feel better. You have to learn how to fall apart and put yourself together for the next day and do it all again.
Now, this might come as a total surprise, but no one likes to talk about the unspoken rules. You're supposed to try even harder, act like the rules don't even exist, and hopefully you'll win and stick it to the man. However, sometimes you simply won't.
Yes, no one wants to believe it, and yes, it can be so discouraging. However, the moment we let ourselves lose passion and give up because we thought we couldn't win, it was then we truly lost because we let them take our power.
It meant that we handed the power to the social construct that we were so intent on fighting. Now, there is no happy ending to the story where we rekindle our passion, become national champions, and overcome the patriarchy, because we stayed losing.
But when we thought about why we kept going, we realized it was our pure, unbridled stubbornness to speak unapologetically and take up space. It was the ability we gained to speak with conviction and have the courage to speak our truth. We were able to be the mentors we never had to other young debaters of color.
As young people, as change makers, as idealists, all of us are constantly at crossroads. These unspoken rules do not only follow you into the debate world, but also throughout the world. It is not enough for us to simply ignore the unspoken rules.
We must deconstruct these standards and leave room for each of us to be able to define ourselves. We do not control the way the world will choose to interpret our presence, but we can choose the way we decide to stand in it.
Will we shrink ourselves to make others feel comfortable, or will we demand the space we deserve? It is not your job to fit into the constraints of unwritten rules.
I know my place, and it is everywhere. And I will be a bitch when I want to, so but I will also be the biggest and the best cheerleader for my fellow rule breakers.
All of us deserve to take space, to be unapologetic, and to be bold. Because honestly, what are rules if they aren't meant to be broken?
Thank you.